All right, listen up. How many times have you caught yourself overthinking, doubting, or holding back on something you know you want? Let me tell you something that's not you, that's your ego talking. And if we're going to get where you really want to go, we need to get honest about the role ego plays in holding you back. Your ego isn't all bad. It's that voice that loves to keep you safe, to keep you comfortable, and to keep things predictable. It loves you. But here's the thing, the ego also loves control. It's addicted to certainty. And growth, real growth, the kind of change you want in your life, is anything but predictable. It's messy, it's uncertain, and sometimes it's downright scary. So that ego of yours, it's not going to like it. When you feel that pull to stay comfortable, no, that's your ego talking. The ego's job is to protect you, to keep you in a space where things are known and predictable. It's the reason you might feel resistance when you think about taking risks, pursuing a big goal, or stepping into something unfamiliar. But while comfort keeps you safe, it also keeps you stagnant. Growth is inherently uncomfortable because it challenges you to push beyond your current limitations and abilities. To achieve anything meaningful, you need to start embracing discomfort as a sign that you're heading in the right direction. Comfort is easy, but it's also a trap. It tricks you into thinking that staying where you are is safer than trying something new. This is why so many people find themselves in a cycle of waiting until they feel ready or until circumstances are just right. But the truth is, there is no perfect moment. Growth doesn't happen when things are easy. It happens when you're willing to confront challenges, take risks, and face the uncertainty head on. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you're actually choosing to stay exactly where you are. Breaking out of your comfort zone isn't a one-time decision. It's something you have to commit to over and over again. You'll be tempted to retreat back to safety every time you face a new challenge. But remember, that feeling of discomfort is temporary, while the rewards of growth last a lifetime. It's like a muscle. The more you exercise your ability to step into discomfort, the stronger and more resilient you become. Each step out of your comfort zone opens up new possibilities and brings you closer to your goals. Imagine a life lived entirely within the bounds of what you already know, no risks, no growth, no adventure. That might sound safe, but it's also limiting. Real fulfillment comes from expanding your horizons, from learning, from trying, and from pushing yourself to do things you once thought were impossible. Growth isn't about avoiding discomfort, it's about embracing it as a necessary part of the journey. When you're willing to make friends with discomfort, you'll discover that it's the gateway to everything you truly want. So the next time you feel that tug to play it safe, remind yourself that the only thing standing between you and your dreams is a temporary feeling of discomfort. Choose growth over comfort, knowing that each small step you take will lead to something bigger. Comfort zones are meant to be expanded, not lived within forever. Embrace the discomfort as a sign that you're on the verge of something great. Your ego is terrified of failure. It wants you to avoid anything that might make you feel embarrassed, rejected, or exposed. But here's the thing, failure is not something to be avoided. It's a critical part of success. Every person who's achieved anything worthwhile has faced failure head-on, probably multiple times. They didn't let it define them or stop them. Instead, they used it as a stepping stone to learn, adapt, and improve. When you fear failure, you're actually fearing growth because it's in those failures that you find your strength and resilience. Confidence doesn't come from playing it safe or waiting until you feel ready. Confidence is built by doing. It's developed when you're willing to take action despite the possibility of failure. Each step forward, each small victory, each time you try something new, you're reinforcing the belief that you are capable. Action is what breeds confidence, not the other way around. When you take action, even if it's uncomfortable, you start to see yourself as someone who is capable of taking on challenges and overcoming obstacles. Think about the people you admire most. Chances are they didn't start with an unshakable sense of confidence. They built it by showing up, by putting themselves out there, by taking risks and learning from their mistakes. That's how true confidence is forged, by doing the hard things, by facing setbacks, and by proving to yourself that you have what it takes. Your ego might try to protect you from failure, but in reality, it's protecting you from the very experiences that will make you stronger. When you let go of the fear of failure, you open yourself up to growth. Each time you step outside your comfort zone, You're giving yourself an opportunity to learn and grow. Failure is not the enemy, and action is. Each time you try, even if you don't succeed immediately, you're building the skills, the resilience, and the inner strength needed to achieve your goals. Failure is simply feedback. It's a guide showing you where to adjust, what to improve, and how to keep moving forward. Remember, the goal isn't to avoid failure, it's to keep going in spite of it. Confidence is not about being certain of success, it's about trusting yourself to handle whatever comes your way. So instead of fearing failure, start embracing it. See it as a natural part of the journey, a stepping stone on the path to becoming who you are meant to be. When you build confidence through action, failure stops being something to fear. It becomes part of the process that helps you reach your full potential. One of the biggest challenges we face is distinguishing between who we really are and that voice of doubt that lives within us. Your ego often disguises itself as your own thoughts, making you believe that your doubts, insecurities, and fears are an inherent part of you. But here's the truth: you are not your doubts. You are not your fears. You are the person who observes these thoughts, who has the power to decide whether or not to listen to them. The first step in overcoming doubt is recognizing that it's not you, it's your ego trying to keep you safe. Your ego's voice is loud, persistent, and often very convincing. It will tell you things like, you're not good enough, what will people think, or you'll probably fail, but these thoughts are not facts, they are simply fears. The real you, the one beneath the doubt and the fear, is stronger, more capable, and more resilient than you realize. When you learn to separate yourself from the ego, you begin to see these doubts for what they are: a protective mechanism, not the truth. To separate yourself from the voice of doubt, start by questioning it. Every time a negative thought comes up, ask yourself, is this really true, or is this just my ego trying to protect me? You'll often find that your doubts have little basis in reality. They are based on past experiences, fears, and assumptions, not on who you are or what you're capable of. By questioning your doubts, you start to weaken their hold on you and strengthen your belief in yourself. It's also important to remind yourself of past successes. Think back to times when you doubted yourself but succeeded anyway. Let those moments be a reminder that you are more than your doubts. Every time you've overcome a challenge, every time you've pushed past fear, you've proven to yourself that you are capable. Use those past victories as evidence to counter your ego's doubts and reinforce your confidence. Finally, make a habit of tuning into your inner voice, the one that encourages you, that believes in you, that knows what you're capable of. This voice might be quieter than the ego's, but it's there. By practicing mindfulness, journaling, or simply spending time reflecting on your goals, you can strengthen this voice and make it your guiding force. The more you listen to the real you, the less power the ego's voice of doubt will have. The ego loves to play the what if game. What if you fail? What if people judge you? What if you're not good enough? These are the questions the ego uses to keep you paralyzed, stuck in a cycle of doubt and inaction. But what if, instead of letting those questions hold you back, you started challenging them? What if every time your ego asks, what if, you answered back with, why not? That simple shift can be incredibly powerful in freeing you from the grip of fear. When you say, why not, you're taking control of the narrative. You're choosing to see possibilities instead of obstacles. Imagine how different your life could be if, instead of focusing on everything that could go wrong, you focused on what could go right. Why not try? Why not see what happens? This mindset shift can open doors, create new opportunities, and lead you to experiences you might have otherwise missed. This doesn't mean ignoring potential risks, it means reframing them. Every time you consider what might go wrong, you're giving power to fear. But when you say, why not, you're choosing to give power to hope, possibility, and curiosity. Fear might tell you to stay put, but curiosity will always push you forward. And growth doesn't come from staying put, it comes from exploring, from daring to try, from choosing the why not over the what if. Answering your ego's what if with why not is an act of courage. It's a reminder that you don't have to be certain of the outcome to take action. You don't have to have all the answers, you just have to be willing to try. And every time you choose to try, you're building resilience, confidence, and experience. You're proving to yourself that you can handle whatever comes your way, whether it's a success or a learning experience. So the next time your ego tries to, the ego loves control. It wants to plan everything, to predict every outcome, to eliminate every risk. But life doesn't work that way, and neither does growth. Growth requires you to let go of the need to control everything and instead trust yourself to handle whatever comes your way. It requires you to embrace uncertainty and to be okay with the unknown. Letting go of control doesn't mean giving up. It means freeing yourself to experience life fully and allowing growth to happen naturally. Control can feel safe, but it's also a form of self-imposed limitation. When you're focused on controlling every aspect of your life, you're not leaving room for spontaneity, for surprises, for new opportunities. Growth often happens in the spaces you can't predict, in the moments that catch you off guard. If you're always trying to control everything, you're missing out on these opportunities for growth. Letting go of control is about allowing yourself to be open to life's possibilities. The need for control often comes from a place of fear of failure, fear of the unknown, fear of not being enough. But when you're willing to let go, you're also letting go of these fears. You're saying, I trust myself to handle whatever comes my way. That trust in yourself is a powerful force. It gives you the courage to try new things, to take risks, and to step into the unknown with confidence. Letting go of control doesn't mean being passive or reckless. It means being flexible, adapting to challenges as they come, and trusting that you have the inner resources to handle anything. It's about focusing on what you can control: your actions, your responses, your mindset, and releasing the need to control everything else. This mindset frees you from the stress of trying to manage every outcome and allows you to focus on what truly matters: your growth, your goals, and your journey. So the next time you feel the need to control everything, take a step back and ask yourself, what can I let go of, release the need to have all the answers, and embrace the journey as it unfolds. Remember, real growth isn't about controlling life, it's about experiencing it fully. Trust yourself, let go of what you can't control, and watch as your life opens up in ways you never could have planned. Your ego doesn't just hold you back, it can also be a valuable tool. Every time you feel that resistance, whether it's fear, doubt, or insecurity, that's your ego pointing you towards something that challenges you. Instead of letting that resistance stop you, start seeing it as a guide. The areas where you feel the most resistance are often the areas where you have the most potential for growth. If you're willing to push through that resistance, you'll find yourself breaking new ground and reaching new heights. Think about the times you felt the most resistance in your life. Maybe it was when you were about to make a big decision, step out of your comfort zone, or take a risk. That resistance wasn't there to stop you, it was there to test you. To see if you're willing to push beyond your limits, to see if you're truly committed to your goals. When you start seeing resistance as a sign of growth, you begin to welcome it instead of avoiding it. Using ego as a guide means acknowledging when it shows up and choosing to act in spite of it. Every time you face that inner resistance and push through it, you're strengthening your resilience. You're proving to yourself that you are capable of handling challenges and overcoming obstacles. Each time you push beyond your limits, you expand your comfort zone, building a foundation for even greater growth in the future. When you use ego as a guide, you're also learning to trust yourself. You're learning that you don't need to have all the answers to take action. You don't need to feel 100% ready or confident. You just need to be willing to try. That willingness to push past resistance is what separates those who achieve their dreams from those who settle. It's not about eliminating fear, it's about embracing it as a natural part of the journey. So the next time you feel that resistance, don't let it stop you. Use it as a signal that you're on the verge of growth. Remember, the greatest rewards lie just beyond your comfort zone. By pushing past the ego's limits, you're stepping into a version of yourself that's stronger, braver, and more capable than you ever thought possible. Embrace the resistance and let it guide you to new heights.